Well, Australia lost 37 of its residents when Flight MH17 was shot out of the sky. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott has personally asked Russian President Vladimir Putin for his cooperation in the international investigation. He's also sent the man who led Australia's failed search for MH370 to Kiev to help coordinate recovery efforts. Hannah Belcher reports.
From north to south and east to west, Australians are mourning. In a population of just 24 million, it feels like everybody knows somebody who died on Flight MH17.
Losing your best friend is like the hardest thing.
Irene Burrows and her husband George from Queensland have been left shell-shocked after a double dose of grief. They lost their son and daughter-in-law on MH370 and now more relatives on MH17.
After the last one, of course, it's just about impossible, but it happened. So, yeah, there's not much we can do.
Since the news broke about the downing of Flight MH17, the Australian government has been the harshest critic of Russia. Prime Minister Tony Abbott has publicly and repeatedly blamed pro-Russian rebels for the attack. He even phoned President Vladimir Putin early on Monday.
To President Putin's credit, he did say all the right things. I want to stress what he said was fine. The challenge now is to hold the President to his word. That's certainly my intention.
But Tony Abbott is deeply concerned that the rebels remain in control of the East Ukrainian crash site.
It is an absolutely shambolic situation. It does look more like a garden clean-up than a forensic investigation.
Australia is leading the push for a binding UN resolution demanding international access and a ceasefire around the area. The Ryder kids from Western Australia lost their parents, but remarkably don't want any retribution.
Rather, we would request that peace be found in Ukraine, and our prayers go out to all the people involved.
Australia is now considering whether to list the downing of Flight MH17 as an act of terrorism. Hannah Belcher, CCTV, Sydney, Australia.